She was seen having a series of lunches with Gordon Getty, the 89-year-old billionaire oil man at the Beverly Hills Hotel. People are wondering what's all that about. Well, clearly she wants money to build her coffers for various things. But, you know, Meghan is a shrewd operator.
Meghan is confused and secretly planning to leave Prince Harry. He is running out of money and struggling emotionally, and it looks like no help is coming from the royal family, even though she had always hoped for that. Reality hit her like cold water. She discovered Harry wasn't the high-flying billionaire she had imagined. What she found instead was a man emotionally burdened, someone who, despite the crown, wasn't sitting on the kind of wealth she expected. Meghan, determined to still live that high life, threw herself into business ventures to keep the dream alive. From the Netflix show With Love, Meghan, to her podcast Confessions of a Female Founder, and the lifestyle brand American Riviera Orchard, she tried to build her own empire. But the results so far have been anything but royal. Her Netflix project is barely clinging to relevance and has been losing popularity fast. Spotify didn't waste time pulling the plug on their deal with her, and everywhere she turns lately, something seems to be falling apart. Meghan is reportedly not taking any of it lightly. While the cameras still catch her smiling, insiders say it's all smoke and mirrors because behind the scenes there's chaos. And as for Harry, he's not doing any better. In a BBC interview back in May 2025, Harry got emotional after losing his legal appeal to restore taxpayer-funded security. He opened up about how painful his strained relationship with King Charles III has been and made it clear he no longer sees himself bringing his family back to the UK. He sounded worn out and lost, and what made it worse was how isolated he appeared. A Ring camera even caught him looking completely out of it, and online chatter quickly spun out of control with speculation about his mental state. Harry is clearly in a place he never imagined for himself. Stripped of his royal duties and no longer under the safety net of the monarchy, he's walking a path he never signed up for. And instead of comfort, instead of a partner who'd put her hand on his shoulder and remind him that it's all going to be okay, Meghan seems completely checked out. She's been busy trying to make her own plans work, and the emotional gap between them just keeps getting wider. Through Harry's rough patch, Meghan has remained publicly silent, offering no visible support, no shared statements, no gestures that say, "We're in this together." It's not just odd, it's loud. Loud enough for everyone to see that something is off. While Harry is fading out of the spotlight and spiraling quietly, Meghan is actively trying to rebuild her brand, revive her image, and regain the attention of the people. Sources say she's now moving through high-powered circles, allegedly showing up at billionaire events and elite gatherings, possibly looking for a new lifeline. And according to Megyn Kelly, if someone like Elon Musk blinked in her direction, Meghan wouldn't hesitate to jump ship. She's not just chasing relevance now, she's chasing security the kind that only deep pockets can provide. But even that plan seems to be backfiring. Major names who once embraced her have quietly stepped away. Nobody wants to be caught in the whirlwind of someone who dragged a prince out of his palace and left him stranded. The Netflix executives are said to be fed up. The bad reviews on her documentary could practically build a mansion, and the whole thing is being whispered about as a failed investment they now regret. Despite everything falling apart, Meghan is still trying to force her way into celebrity status. But it's no longer charming, it's looking desperate. The same people she's trying to impress are now watching with popcorn in hand as she struggles to blend in as a regular mom, something that never truly fits into her royal game plan. The glitz she dreamed of is fading, and being a stay-at-home figure isn't her vibe at all. Now she's actively seeking something or someone that can rescue her from the mess. Allegedly mingling at elite events, she's hunting for that next big figure who can revive her image and bankroll her dreams. Because from where things stand, Harry is no longer the answer. He's overwhelmed, possibly broke, emotionally drained, and clearly not in a position to sponsor Meghan's Hollywood ambitions. Now she's out here doing what some are calling the billionaire shuffle, allegedly showing up at all the right places, smiling in all the right faces, hoping to lock eyes with someone who can upgrade her lifestyle. From what insiders are whispering, Meghan has been making her rounds at Silicon Valley mixers, those charity galas, and even tech retreats in Big Sur. And it's not just for the scenery. One name that keeps slipping into the conversation is a certain Dubai billionaire she's reportedly been involved with lately. There's no official confirmation, of course, but the sightings keep piling up like unpaid invoices. And then there's Ted Sarandos. Yes, the Netflix top dog. Word on the street is she's not exactly chasing a deal this time, but getting just close enough to be noticed. Some say she sees him as a possible safety net, maybe even something more. He's rich, connected, and influential. Meghan's been showing up exactly where the big deals are being discussed, positioning herself like someone waiting to be discovered all over again. But that's where the real drama starts, because in Hollywood, nobody cares who you married. What matters is whether your name still carries weight. Meghan wants to trend like wildfire. She wants the world to become her fan, but now her name gets nothing more than a tired sigh. Marketing expert Tony Case didn't even try to sugarcoat it. He told the Daily Beast she's box office poison, and that hit hard. This was said after the poor reception of their Netflix Polo docuseries. But honestly, can you blame them? Her projects flop. Her presence sparks backlash. Even her so-called ride-or-die crew like Mindy Kaling and Oprah have gone completely silent. And in Hollywood, silence is not just silence, it is distance. It is a soft unfollow. It is the polite way of saying we're done. So now Meghan is stuck in this awkward space, too controversial for mainstream Hollywood, too loud for the royals, and not exactly cash-worthy for the brands she's chasing. That whole plan of snagging a billionaire to fund her next chapter is starting to look less like a strategy and more like a desperate Hail Mary. Because let's be real, the men at the top of the food chain are not looking to rescue someone who's clearly hustling for a lifeline. She escaped the royal rules, but lost the royal shield. Now she's standing in the storm alone, and Harry, who once had the world in his hands, is left with nothing but regrets. The man who used to shine is now fighting shadows, and the woman who promised to stand by him is plotting her next exit. The table they once sat on together now feels uneven, and it won't be long before Meghan stands up and walks away. Harry seems to be going through a lot, and it is starting to show. On May 10th in London, he was seen walking around a neighborhood, knocking on random doors like someone who had completely lost track of himself. He rang doorbells, went to the wrong houses, and was said to be looking for a friend. The whole thing looked odd and got people talking. Royal commentator Samantha Gill called his behavior unstable and strange. She said the stress from his court battles over security might be taking a serious toll on him. Photographer Edward Arthur also confirmed that Harry did not knock on just one house. He went from house to house, which made it clear that something is not right mentally. He does not seem happy, and he is clearly not in the right frame of mind. These days, he mostly follows Meghan around and puts on a smile whenever they are in front of a camera, but behind that smile, something feels off. Meghan didn't just walk away from the royal family. What she really walked away from was the system that held her fantasy together. That polished setup that she thought would make her look like the modern-day Cinderella with a crown. But now that the royal gates have closed and the press is no longer scripted, she's out here in the wild world of fame with no map, no anchor, and no one pulling strings to protect the narrative. She's still hoping someone out there will see the old sparkle and decide she's worth the trouble. But the lights have dimmed, the applause has faded, and the audience has moved on to the next headline. The show is over, and Meghan? She's still on stage, waiting for a curtain call that may never come. Is this just a rough patch they'll overcome, or is Meghan really setting up for the ultimate exit to revive her brand and career? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. I will see you in the next video.